Hey, this is Walt with Ray Buck Auto Body Parts, and today we're going to take a look at the transfer case for our 1967 Chevy K10 pickup. And this is a Rockwell T221N. This is a Model N transmission, a 1.94 ratio. This transfer case was used all the way up to 67, I believe, and it is an all gear driven transfer case. Some of the later ones, most of the later ones are chain driven, but it's a good transfer case. Not a lot of people use them anymore. They're kind of outdated. Everyone's going to the newer style transfer cases, but it does work well for, you know, what it's intended for. It's not any type of high performance anything like that, but you know, if you want to build something, you know, to rock crawl, things like that, supposedly these things are pretty stout. I kept it in the truck just because I didn't want to have to change a bunch of things. Not very familiar with it. I didn't have to take it apart or do anything with it. The person that had the truck before me, they replaced some of the stuff on the back here. You can see where there's some silicone stuff squeezed out, so they replaced all that, so that was good. That didn't seem to be leaking. There was a leak coming from the front. I'm not really sure where it was coming from, but I did take this yoke off and replace this seal back here. So pretty much I just cleaned it up, painted it. Like I said, I really didn't take it apart other than you know, that yoke in the front. One interesting thing that I did have to deal with was this little speedometer gear. This goes in the transmission here. So backwards. That just kind of drops in there, and then you have this little housing that goes on. That winds in, and typically I believe your speedometer cable would just go right there and screw onto that. Mine had this thing on it. I'm really not sure why it did, because the way that it points back, it put the speedometer cable on a really bad angle. It made it do like a 180-degree loop to get to this, so I'm not quite sure why they had it on there. The only thing I could think of is the speedometer cable was broke, so I don't know if they thought, you know, putting this adapter on there would help anything. I'm really not sure. I did check it, and it is a 1-to-1 ratio, so when you turn this side turns the same amount. But the interesting thing that I did have with this was, if you can't really see, but you can see the outside of this has like little square crimps in it. Well, that's because the speedometer cable is square, and it should slide down inside there, and that's what helps, you know, holds it and drives the speedometer. So the problem I had was the end of the speedometer cable was stuck in there. This is the little piece, as you can see. So I couldn't get it out. I tried soaking it. I tried, you know, using a little pick to try and get it out. But I even tried drilling it. I tried drilling it from this side to see if I could, you know, get something wedged in there and pull it out. Ultimately, what we ended up doing was drilling a hole all the way through the end of it. You can't really, well, yeah, you can see. It goes all the way out the other side now. This was solid, so a friend of mine put it on a lathe so we could hold it nice and true and drill a hole through there. And obviously we got so far, and then we just took an Allen wrench, stuck it in there, and popped this little piece out the end of it. So now I can get my speedometer cable in there, and that will work. These things are pretty hard to come by. I've looked them up on a few sites, and I've seen them anywhere from $150 to $400. So if you have one of these and it's good, you might want to try and fix it. I know the gears, these gears obviously are different for different gearing in the I'm guessing in the transfer case or the drive line. I'm not sure exactly, but I did reach out online and a couple people got back to me. They did say that this gear comes off. I didn't try taking it off, but apparently you can, this gear will come off of this shaft if you need to replace it. So that was interesting and kind of a pain in the butt, but we got to figure it out, and hopefully drilling this hole doesn't weaken this at all. I really don't think it should, but I guess we'll find out. The other thing that was quite the pain on this was this center adapter. Some of these gaskets are available, but not all of them. I've seen this adapter in different configurations where it's just two, like an upper and a lower. It doesn't have this side, and this is basically, you can't see it now because I have all taped up, but there are bearing covers basically for these three areas. Two bearings and obviously your shaft. This one down here, I've seen them before where they have a cup kind of like on the back here, but yeah, so finding some of these pieces was a little bit difficult. There is a shaft in here, and this is basically a coupler that goes between the transfer case and the back side of the transmission. Here's the one that was originally in it. The one side is good, there's no problem with that. The other side is gone. This was the side that went to the transmission, and the transmission output shaft was also tore up. So I had to try and find both of these. This I found on eBay. This I found at a company called Torque King. They sell these brand new. So that was kind of a lifesaver to find one of those, because these things are notorious for getting tore up apparently. The other problem was finding these seals. These seals are probably about a half, like most seals you get are probably a 1/4 inch, 3/8 thick. These are thicker, they're about 3/8. And I looked, when I took this apart, I looked at the number that was on the seal, and I did some research. I was luckily able to find that at a local drive shaft shop near us. They didn't have them, but they were able to find them, and it was listed under a company named Meritor that supplies different, I guess, seals and bearings and things like that. So it was a special order item. They weren't cheap. I think those two seals were like $75, but everywhere I looked, you can find websites out there that have this seal part number. Everybody was out of them, so didn't have much choice. That was the only place I could find that had them, and as far as I could tell, that's, you know, that's what you need for that. So got that done, got these in there, and basically this shaft or coupler, whatever you want to call it, it just kind of floats in there. Once everything goes in, there's nothing really that holds it other than these seals. Of course, until you get the, you know, both shafts in there, then it takes care of that. But this, if you saw any of the earlier videos, this unit was just extremely dirty. On top of all the grease and dirt from over the years, the truck was undercoated at some point, and the whole drive line had undercoating on it, which was a good thing. It really saved a lot of these parts. There really was not really much rust on them other than you know, some minor surface rust. So that was a good thing. So cleaned it all up, painted everything. I tried to keep it the original color. It was pretty close to this. It was a little more, probably a little more red than orange, but that was the original color, so that's what I kept. or tried to keep anyhow. Basically all this is red Krylon primer with some clear over it, so but it'll do the job, it'll look the part, and yeah, so that's it for that. I do have to put all the, there's a lever and some different things that go on here, but that won't go on until this is all together, and then we'll get this back in the truck. So if you guys have any questions about the transfer case or any of the parts or anything like that, be sure to drop us a message or comment, and yeah, let us know. These old vehicles, as you know, doesn't have to be this truck. Any old vehicle, parts are hard to find, so hopefully, you know, this has some information for you that you can find it if you need it. So, but that's about it for the transfer case. I want to thank everyone for watching, liking, commenting. We really appreciate it. We're trying to grow the channel, so if you guys have anything you want to see, or you know, maybe even something we had on before and you have more questions or you want to see more about it, make sure you let us know. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you later.